without knowing where the Purva Punya is going to come to you from, how much you will be able to gain out of it, what will be the roadblocks in getting the maximum out of the Purva Punya, and when it will be able to get to you in the best bloom, it will not be enough just to know that the 5th house is the house of Purva Punya. Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel, Astro Assurance. Firstly, to all my Indian brothers and sisters and many other countries who are probably also celebrating their Independence Day today or some important day today, my heartfelt congratulations, gratitude to all the freedom fighters who fought for the freedom of my great nation, and to all those who have brought it so far, again heartfelt thanks to all of you. So today being a very auspicious day, 75th anniversary of our independence and the 76th day that we are celebrating, this is a very important day, and it is a good day to also talk about what we have gained from what we have carried forward so far. And in what we have carried forward so far, the 5th house, the house known as the house of Purva Punya, is very important. And so you may have seen many videos talking about Purva Punya, but how do we know whether that house is able to give us good gains, how much gains we will be able to get out of it, when we will be able to get good gains out of it, whether we will have to overcome obstacles, with what energies, other energies will have to synergize to be able to get gains out of it, and whether it will be easy or not, or whether we will be even working towards those energies or we will be scattering our energies somewhere else. It is very important to dive deep into the manifestation, the dignity, knowing about the 5th house as well as the 5th lord. Through that only we will be able to ascertain how much gains have been allotted from the zodiac of getting good gains of a Purva Punya, carried forward good karma or the goodness that we are carrying forward, and how much we will be able to extract it if at all we understand it well. So let's understand how the zodiac may have given us, allotted some Purva Punya to us, and how much easy or difficult the zodiac is making for us to be able to get the best gains out of a Purva Punya, the goodness that we are carrying forward from a past karma. So firstly, to know about how much we will be able to get the gains out of a Purva Punya, the goodness that we are carrying forward from the past karma, it is important to know two very important manifestations of the Purva Punya. First is the dignity of the 5th house itself, and then the dignity of the 5th lord. So if the dignity of the 5th house is strong, there are no malefics placed in the 5th house, there are no bad aspects on the 5th house, there are no doshas involved in the 5th house, and say if there are good yogas, then it means the zodiac has made it very high probable for us to be able to get the gains out of a Purva Punya, the goodness that we are carrying forward. However, where the goodness is coming from, where we will be able to collect the resources from to be able to enjoy the goodness of the Purva Punya, will come from the dignity of the 5th lord and where it is placed. So firstly, if the 5th house is in good dignity with good yogas, no bad doshas, no bad aspects, so the zodiac is making it highly probable for us. If the 5th lord is also placed well in good dignity, maybe in exaltation, maybe in good yogas, then to a large extent the zodiac is telling us just go get it and enjoy the fruits of your good karma that you are carrying forward, the Purva Punya. On the other hand, if the 5th house is in good dignity, maybe with some good yogas, but the 5th lord is not placed well, obviously you have to struggle in the manifestation of the Purva Punya. Secondly, the status, the dignity of the 6th house and the 6th lord. Why the 6th house? Because the 6th house is the house called the Bhrigu Bhav, or the house of karmic debt, the karmic debt you are carrying. The difference between the 5th house and the 6th house is, the 5th house is the house of goodness or Purva Punya. Punya is the good karma that you are carrying forward. The 6th house is the karmic debt that you are carrying, which you have to pay off. So there is a difference there. So without paying off the karmic debt of the 6th house, especially if the 6th house is getting strongly connected with the 5th house or the 5th lord, or conjunction between the 5th house and the 6th house, or exchange, or any lord placed in each other's houses, you will not be able to get the best gains out of the Purva Punya. For example, if the 6th lord is placed in the 5th house, it means without paying off the karmic debt of the 6th house, the service which you need to do, through which you will pay off the karmic debt, you may not be able to get the best gains out of your Purva Punya. Also, the same thing, if the 5th house lord goes into the 6th house, then it shows that the best gains of the Purva Punya will come through service that you do and paying off your karmic debt of your 6th house, the Bhrigu Bhava. So keep this in mind, that it's not about the 5th house dignity alone, or where the 5th lord is placed and what dignity. This dignity of the 6th house is also very, very important. Then where is the 6th lord placed, especially if it's forming some association either with the 5th house or the 5th lord, then the manifestation is stronger, that without paying off your karmic debt, the best gains that you may be able to get out of your Purva Punya may not be given to you. And how will you be able to pay off the karmic debt? 6th lord's placement will tell you where you need to serve, so that you are able to pay off the karmic debt, and then that doesn't become a hindrance in you being able to get the best gains out of your Purva Punya. So if the 6th house is in good dignity, it shows that the karmic debt that you are carrying is less. And if the 6th lord is also placed well, it shows not only are you carrying very less karmic debt, but the manifestation of through service to improve your Purva Punya is also being given to you. So paying off the karmic debt, or hardly any karmic debt that you are carrying, or the zodiac has made it easy for you by placing the 6th house lord in good dignity. Pay it off very easily and then get good gains out of your Purva Punya, the good gains out of your 5th house manifestation. So the connection between the 5th house and the 6th house is important. Understand this connection very well. Even if they are not connected, dignity of the 6th house and the 5th house is very, very important, and their lords is very important. Then another very important dignitary which we fail to understand very well, this is Ketu. Now why is Ketu getting connected to your Purva Punya? Firstly, Ketu is your exhausted karma. So wherever Ketu is placed, we say we have already been there, done that, exhausted the karma, and that's why whichever house Ketu gets placed, we say that we will not be able to get the best gains out of that house, because we have already lived the highest manifestation, we have already enjoyed the goodies of that house. And so this house, or this life about that house, you will have to get less gains, and if you want to, you will have to struggle harder. But if Ketu is placed in very good dignity, which means that you have exhausted all the karma of that particular house, and because Ketu is placed there, well, it shows that Ketu, because you have exhausted all the karma of that house, if you are doing more service related to that house, you are serving in that house without expecting anything in return, then Ketu will give you back much more, because karma is exhausted, there is no bad karma that you are carrying forward. However, if Ketu is placed in bad dignity, for example, placed with the Lagna Lord, then it means that there is some bad karma that you are carrying forward, or less exhausted karma that you are carrying forward. So if the karma has not been completely exhausted, for example, if Ketu is placed with the Lagna Lord, then you may not be able to enjoy the complete fruits of your Purva Punya. Similarly, whichever house Ketu is placed, if Ketu is not in good dignity in that house, then shows that there is still some karma which you need to pay off from that house before the manifestation of the Purva Punya will be given to you. And this becomes more stronger if in some way Ketu is establishing the relationship either with the 5th house or with the 5th lord. So all these become very important. For example, placement of the 5th house lord becomes very important. Wherever the 5th house lord is placed, it shows that the gains of the Purva Punya will come from there, especially if it's placed well. For example, if the 5th house lord is placed strongly in the 11th house, again the house of gains, again the house of wishes and desires, which means the Purva Punya's gains will come to you through your social connections, through how you are able to establish your social network, and through maybe your friends, maybe your associations, maybe your acquaintances. And if the 5th house lord is placed well there, then it means that you may get a lot of name, fame, adulation, huge gains also, mass adulation, maybe you may even be a celebrity. However, if the 5th house is very strong, but the 5th lord is not placed well in the 11th house, which shows that you have a lot of gains, the gains will also come to you, but more than you, your acquaintances or friends may enjoy. For example, we know that celebrities will also have a lot of friends hanging around with them. You may be a celebrity or you may be a very successful person if the 5th house is in a very strong dignity, but if the 5th lord is not placed in good dignity in the 11th house, which means that you are getting good gains, but your friends are enjoying it more than you. So you have these beautiful yachts, but you have to struggle for those yachts. But your friends just come over and enjoy. They don't need to bother about all the hard work. Or you will have big bungalows, you have big mansions, but you have to struggle hard for it. You have to pay property taxes for it. You have to place any notices for that. You have to take all the tension and the burden of paying all the notices, paying all the salaries, repair work and all that. But your friends may just come over and enjoy themselves and enjoy that property. So this shows, especially if the 5th house is in good dignity, but the 5th lord is not placed in good dignity in some house, it means that you may either get very good gains of your Purva Punya, but you may not be able to enjoy it as much. Wherever it is placed, you may be able to get the best resources from that. You may also be able to get your wishes and desires fulfilled, but somebody else, here we are talking about friends being able to enjoy more. On the other hand, say for example, why is the 5th house very important? Sometimes you may be working very, very hard. You enjoy all the Purva Punya gains also coming to you. However, you have to continue to work hard. But your children, which the 5th house also represents, they enjoy more than you. You had to slog hard to get all the gains, work hard to make those mansions, get all the money, but the children being born to you, they enjoy most, and they enjoy it from when they are born. It's like saying that child is born with a silver spoon, golden spoon, whatever spoon in their mouth, they are able to get the best gains out of it. The other is your romantic liaisons of the 5th house. We also know that if you are a celebrity, whether you are good looking or not, if you are a successful person, then you will also attract a lot of honey bees coming to you also, which means the opposite gender, unless you are interested in the same gender. So you may attract the Venus coming to you, and then your girlfriends or your boyfriends who hang around with you, they may be able to enjoy it more than you. And that's why the 5th house becomes very important, because 5th house is the house of Purva Punya, which means because of your Purva Punya, you may also get good kids, you may also get good gains, you may also able to make a lot of money through your investments, you may also get a lot of love and romance. However, they will also enjoy your Purva Punya. You will not be alone. So your kids may also enjoy through your Purva Punya, and your romantic liaisons may also enjoy. Unless you are somebody who doesn't stick to a relationship for too long, so the duration that they are with you, obviously they'll enjoy. Then the 5th lord. Now if the 5th house lord gets placed either in the 8th house or the 12th house, the Dusthana, which means the gains of the Purva Punya may come after some struggle. It won't be easy. You will have to overcome obstacles. Or if the 5th house lord is placed strong in either the 8th house or the 12th house, then you may be able to get very good gains after some obstacles that you may have to overcome, or from the areas of the 8th house. If the 5th house lord is placed very strong in the 8th house, in maybe exaltation, then you may be able to enjoy gains from other people's wealth, through inheritance, through shared properties. Suddenly through an inheritance you get lots of good money. That's Purva Punya, because maybe you didn't even have to work hard for it. Your forefathers made a lot of money, your father may have made a lot of money, and it all was given to you on a platter. Or through shared property. you invested in some property in some place, maybe with your spouse, maybe with somebody else, and it boomed and you got a lot of money in return. Or you put some money, because 5th house is also the house of investments, and the 5th lord has gone into the 8th house. You may have invested in technology, in IT, maybe in certain things which are coming from below the ground. For example, in granite, maybe in jewelry, maybe in stones, maybe in mining, and then through that sudden manifestation, lot of money comes to you, big gains come to you. On the other hand, 5th house lord going in very good dignity in the 12th house, which means the good gains of your Purva Punya may come from foreign lands or with foreign associations or areas related to the 12th house. You may be a doctor, you may be a surgeon, you may be in armed forces, and you may be decorated, you may get very high remuneration, you may be working in very good hospitals in foreign lands, and you may be gaining a lot. You may be working in, say for example, as an ambassador working for the government, and you may be also getting a lot of dignity, you may be also be getting a lot of rewards, you may be also getting a lot of recognition. Then if the 5th house lord has connections with any other house lord, for example, the 5th lord is conjunct with, say for example, the 3rd house lord, which means the gains of the 5th lord will also come to you, or the 5th house will come to you, the Purva Punya will come to you, but through hard work and effort, which the 3rd house represents, because 5th house and the 3rd house are conjunct and the synergy of energies are coming together. So one, without hard work, without self-enterprise, maybe through the social media, maybe through your communication, maybe through some artistic denotation, then only you will be getting high gains, especially because the 3rd house is the 11th house from the 5th house. So this can be a good placement where if they are conjunct, or if the 3rd house lord is placed in the 5th house, through your hard work, through your social media, through your communication skills, through your marketing, through your branding, you may be able to get best results. Similarly, planets placed in the 5th house, whichever planet is placed in the 5th house, your best manifestation of your Purva Punya will come through them, or those associations will also influence your Purva Punya. If Sun is placed in the 5th house and in good dignity, which means only through responsible effort, only through taking accountability, only through being able to showcase leadership, only through being able to put your best foot forward, taking accountability, responsibility, then you will shine. Because the 5th house also has Leo energies, Sun is very strong in the 5th house. If Moon, for example, gets into the 5th house, then the enjoyment of gains of the Purva Punya may come through creativity, through innovation, through understanding, through empathy, through some work that you get connected, supporting, nourishing others, high degree of creativity as well. On the other hand, if Saturn gets strongly placed in the 5th house, then you may also be able to get very strong gains of Purva Punya and stable, though maybe a little late in life, but also your career may go through a number of ups and downs, number of changes also. A Rahu getting placed in the 5th house, very strong connection, unusual connections through which the Purva Punya gains may come to you. Some people say, will I get married to a foreign spouse? Will my spouse will come from foreign lands? Rahu going in the 5th house without any bad dignities, bad doshas, shows yes, you may have romantic partners, romantic liaisons, enjoy intimacy with people from across the boundaries also, and you may have a lot of gains also, sudden gains also coming your way. If Venus gets strongly placed in the 5th house, then a lot of intimacy, romance, love, affection and good quality of life may also come to you, because Venus represents the good quality of life. It's not only about the fairer gender or beautiful romantic liaisons, but also the good quality of life being given to you, good riches coming to you also. Especially if the 5th house lord gets into a good dignity with Venus in conjunction, in synergy, where Venus is in own sign or in exaltation, then the manifestation is stronger of enjoying great life, very good quality of life through your Purva Punya in the direction of the planet that the 5th house is enjoying the association with, synergy with or conjunction with. And if there are good yogas within the 5th house, for example, Gachkesari yoga in the 5th house shows that you will get a lot of very strong results based on your creativity and innovation, and also your learning, which Jupiter represents. And through being large-hearted, through being creative, but also through being able to shine bright, being able to perform on some stage, either through your career or through your work or through some artistic denotations or through learning that you are able to get, which means the better learning that you get, the better earning that you get, the better gains you will get. If the fifth house lord gets placed in the trine house, either in the fifth house or in the ninth house or in the Lagna is another trine house, or in any of the Kendras, which means this is a strong Raj Yoga. Good gains have been given to you, almost promised to you. However, the fifth house, if it's fifth house lord, if it's in good dignity, then the gains will be much better for you and with less struggles. So you need to see the connection of the Karakas, whichever is the Karaka getting connected to the fifth house. If moon is getting connected, creativity, innovation, mother's manifestation. Sun is getting connected, again high degree of artistic endeavors, but father is also getting connected. Spoiling relationship with the father will not help you enjoy high gains of your Purva Punya. Spoiling relations with the mother, when moon is establishing relations with the fifth house, being placed in the fifth house, you are stopping the manifestation of high gains of your Purva Punya again. Venus placed in the fifth house, spoiling your relationship with the better half, the opposite gender, or just having fun, not being really committed to the relationship, you're spoiling the manifestation of again the Purva Punya. Spoiling Mars, for example, maybe especially with siblings getting involved in the act, then again you're spoiling the gains of the Purva Punya. Mercury placed there, mistreating your friends, taking advantage of your friends, backbiting your friends, cheating your friends, again you're spoiling the dignity of the Purva Punya. A difficult manifestation of the Purva Punya could be if Ketu gets placed there, which means that you will have to be very spiritual to get the gains out of Ketu's placement there, which means first you'll have to do more, you'll have to give more, you'll have to be more charitable, you will have to work hard towards it, and then Ketu is one planet, when it gives you, the gains can be so high, so big that you don't know what to do. But Ketu will spoil one manifestation of the fifth house, either in romance or results of investments or high gains or results from children, or also results not coming from change in career bringing you the big gains. So depending on how the fifth house lord is placed, where it is placed, where the sixth house lord is placed, sixth house dignity, Ketu's manifestation, conjunctions of the fifth house lord, conjunctions in the fifth house, yogas or doshas or aspects on the fifth house, all of these will influence the gains that you will be able to get out of their Purva Punya, to what extent you will be able to enjoy, what dasha periods you will be able to enjoy. So the fifth house is gains, or the Purva Punya's gains will come to you either in the dasha or antardasha of the fifth house lord, or wherever, whichever house fifth house lord is placed in the dasha of that planet, or whichever it is conjunct with in the dasha and antardashas of those conjunctions, or during the transit of the planet with which the fifth house lord is in conjunction with or establishing a relationship, either with the yoga or even through mutual aspect. Now, very, very important. How do you know whether there is a validity of the fifth house lord really giving you good gains? If the fifth house is in good dignity in the D1 chart, Lagna chart, and the fifth lord is also well placed, you will have to check that validation through the placement of the Navamsa. If the fifth house and the fifth house lord in the Navamsa also are in good dignity, then a boon has been given to you. But be real careful how you manifest those results. But if in the D1 chart, in the Lagna chart, fifth house is in good dignity, fifth lord is in good dignity, but in the Navamsa, they are not in good dignity, which means, what is the Navamsa? Navamsa is the chart of connections, relationships with. So your interconnections with other people, your relationship, they become very, very important, which means that the better relationship that you have, the better you treat people, the better associations you form with people, you are more giving, you are more charitable, you are more loving, you are more caring, you have a very sharing, empathetic attitude towards the relationship. You believe in building a relationship, you believe in harmonizing those relationships, you believe in synergizing through the relationship, then good gains will come to you. On the other hand, if in the Lagna D1 chart, the fifth house lord and the fifth house are not so in very good dignity, but they are very well placed in the Navamsa, which means Though the zodiac has given you less opportunity of getting very high gains from your Purva Punya, but because of your ability to form relations, forming acquaintances, being able to synergize, working hard towards your relationship, then over a period of time, because of working hard on your relationship, building those synergies, building those partnerships, the zodiac will open the doors, maybe late, to be able to still get gains out of your Purva Punya. So friends, understand the dignity of the 5th house, the 5th lord, the 6th house, the 6th lord, Ketu's placements, conjunctions, yogas, as well as the Navamsa, to be able to understand how much the Purva Punya is given to you, what doors are being opened for you, to what extent you will be able to get gains, splendid gains, less gains, no gains, struggle oriented gains, or fantastic gains. If you get to know this, then you will also know which direction to work to be able to get the gains from. If you don't understand the dignity of or the Purva Punya, how it is being given to you, then your whole life, while being given the opportunity, yet you may be putting less effort, you may be wasting your effort, through which you may not be able to get the best gains of your Purva Punya. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Till some other time, with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.